Hi, welcome back to Kathy's Big Stretch Yoga, or Big Stretch. So today we're going to have a slow flow. If you fancy doing it in the morning or late afternoon after work, something that's nice and steady and doesn't require too much energy. Okay, let's go. So if we sit on our ankles or on the top of our feet, if this hurts at all, then just pop a little blanket or something or a pair of socks underneath the tops of the feet. So knees together, facing straight, and we're just going to start with our hands on our thighs and looking straight ahead and just breathing deeply. To start with, in through the nose and out through the nose, just to calm the senses a little bit. If you find yourself with a busy mind as well, then just think about setting an intention of sorts as well that can help to focus the mind on where we are. Be that in your bedroom, in your living room, wherever you are. On a mat, on a blanket, on the floor, on the carpet. Think about what you'd like to do in this practice, how you'd like to feel during it. If there's a part of your body that's maybe a little bit stiff, maybe you can focus your breath on those parts of your body. Or if you just like to create a little bit of space in certain parts of your body. Don't worry about the tooting horns. We're in Italy, so just use that as maybe a sign to, oh, I was not thinking about my breath or not thinking about something, and that just brings you back to focus. And just when you've completed your last exhale, then we're going to bring our head to the right, just stretching that neck a little bit. And inhale to the center, exhale to the left, and inhale to the center. And lift your right hand up above your head and over on the left ear, just gently resting on top. And then very gently on an exhale, I apologise, on an exhale, bringing your right ear slowly lower to your right shoulder. So you can just gently feel it between your left ear and your left shoulder. Inhale to release back to the center. And the same on the other side. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, left hand on the right ear. And exhale to release the left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale to release and come back to the center. And then this time we're going to inhale the right hand up to the ceiling, placing the left hand on the mat, on the floor next to the hip. Inhale to lengthen again and exhale to release towards the left hand side. If you'd want to keep that bottom hand straight, just keep crawling it out so that it's nice and straight, and so that you're really breathing into the ribs that are expanding on your right hand side. Inhale, exhale, and inhale back to the center. Exhale, right hand comes down onto the mat. Inhale to lengthen a little bit further up, and exhale to bend onto the right hand side. Breathing into the space between your ribs and your armpit. Opening the chest up a little bit. Maybe you've been quite cramped up today or during the night. Breathe in some fresh air. Inhale to back to the center. And exhale to release the hands to the thighs. And now we're going to come into a tabletop, so crawling the hands up the mat so that the body is on the thighs, using the forearms as well as the hands to push your body up. Oh yeah, we're going real slow today. And then untucking your feet, maybe if you want to tuck your toes quickly, stretch your feet, the tops of your feet and your toes, and you can just dip and dive, sort of move gently between a tabletop where you've got a right angle to sitting back on your ankles. Just gently rock. And then untuck your toes again so that your backs of your feet, the tops of your feet are on the mat, and then lifting yourself up into a tabletop. We're going to do a little cat-cow. So again, this is tipping, so we're inhaling first, and we're tipping the hips forward, so the belly comes to the mat, the chest raises and the head raises up, creating a U in the back. And then exhale, hips go in the opposite direction, back goes up to the ceiling, chest comes down, head comes down. Squeeze. Inhale, hips, back comes down, chest pushes forward and head goes up. Really breathing in through those sit bones there, and then exhale, hips push forward, back goes up, head comes down, and squeeze all of that air out, all of that stale air. Inhale, hips. Inhale a bit more, back, chest and head. Trying to keep your mouth closed when your head is in full flexion as well, just to protect the throat a little bit. Exhale, hips, back, chest, head. And inhale back to the center. So coming back onto our ankles, sit back onto our ankles. We are going to come into an extended child's pose. So knees go to the outside of the mat, so creating a nice V shape here. Again, if you've got problems with that, then by all means keep your knees closer together. It's entirely your choice, whatever's more comfortable for you. If you've got pillows, put them underneath your chest and onto your stomach as well, or a bolster. That can be really nice. But we're just going to come down onto the mat. And we're going to spend a few breaths here. So enjoy the stretch. Breathe into the sit bones and the underarms to really gain some space. So inhaling down onto the mat. Keep breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Keep your mind set on your intention as well, whatever that might have been. Use this moment as well to just create that comforting circle that you can find a different perspective when you have this circle that you can create yourself with your body. There's security in this that maybe you couldn't feel during the day. And on your next inhale, just gently raise yourself back, forearms down, hands pressing actively down into the mat. Tuck your toes, bring your knees closer together again. And we're going to push up onto our hands. Tucking, keeping the toes tucked, we're going to come into a downward facing dog. So actively press through the fingertips, pushing the knees off the ground and the hips pushing back to the ceiling behind you. Getting comfortable in this position so you've got lots of space between your ears and your shoulders. And then we're going to pedal, walk the dog here for a little bit. Inhaling deeply and exhaling as you do in your own natural rhythm. And then once we've done that a little bit, we're going to bend one knee. Let's start with the right. And we're going to look underneath the left shoulder. Exhaling as we get there. Inhale, opposite. Exhale when we get there. Inhale to move. Exhale when we get there. One more. Inhale to move. And exhale when we get there. Inhale back to center. And we are going to lift the right leg back slightly, bringing the knee under the body and the foot between our hands. Lower that left knee to the ground and pushing off through your fingertips, bringing the body up. Hand goes onto the right knee. Hopefully that's forward for you. If it's not, don't worry about it. Use the other hand on the other knee. And we're going to raise, on an inhale, raise the left arm up. And exhale to bend. Oh, I'm a bit wobbly. Bend over to the right. Inhale to find that space in the ribs. And exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale back to the center. Hands come down onto the mat. Tuck that back toe. Lift the back knee. Hands come forward a little bit onto the fingertips. Look up into a lunge position. Looking up, putting the chest forward, looking to Surya, the sun. Try not to scrunch the shoulders up too much. You really want to lengthen and create lots of space between the elbows, the ears, and the shoulders. Inhale, the front knee straightens, and you're just coming into a very quick stretch there, and then bending that back knee onto the ground. We are going to spin so that you are at a right angle, perpendicular to your mat. So the left knee is down and you've got a right angle there, and then the right leg is coming out to the side with your foot on the ground. So you're going into gate pose. Left arm comes up. On an inhale, right arm remains on the straight leg. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to bend. Again, we're creating all of that space in the ribs and the armpit. Try not to crunch up too much. Think about the space between your ears and your shoulders. Finding balance. Focus on the breath. And inhale back to center, releasing that arm, bringing that straightened leg up again, so you've got a nice right angle in the knee, hands on either side of that foot, twist that knee back, again, come up to that stretch, so both legs are straight. And again, bend that knee down, hands onto the floor, bringing yourself back into a down-facing dog. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to come into a plank. Knees onto the floor, chest onto the floor. Lower the body to the ground. Hands underneath shoulders, coming into a gentle cobra. Exhale, pushing actively through the hands. Lift the body so that we're coming back into a down-facing dog. So we're going to go with the opposite leg this time. So actively through the hands and through the right foot, lift the left leg on an inhale and bring it between the hands at the top of the mat, lowering that right knee to the ground. Inhale, lift the body off the ground, left hand on the left knee. Inhale, right hand goes up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale into the space of the ribs, the rib space, and underneath the arm, that whole space there, that whole side of the body. Maybe you can feel it going all the way down to your knee on the right hand side. Breathe. And inhale back to the center. Exhale, hands come down on either side of that foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee onto the fingertips if you want to. Coming up into a lunge. Push that chest forward. Roll the shoulder blades back, down the body, the back, back down the back. And breathe. And actively press through the fingers, straightening that front knee so both legs are straight. And then bending both knees, especially that back one, putting it on the floor, spinning it round so that we're coming to the long side of the mat. And then bringing that left foot so it's on the floor, the leg is straight, gate pose. This time, left hand on the left leg, yes, that's right. And then inhale, right hand up to the ceiling. Inhale to lengthen up, all the way up, and then exhale towards the straight leg, towards the left. Try not to push our hip out too much or anything. We're trying to keep relatively straight and in line. Don't worry if you're not bending that much. It's not about the bend, it's about the space created in the hips and the chest. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can look up to your hand, to your arm, but it's not a big deal if you don't. Inhale, back to the center, bending that knee, the one that was straight, the left one, and the hands between the foot, and then coming back into that pose where both legs are straight, back to bending that leg, hands actively push through the ground, lift that leg, come back into a downward facing dog. And breathe. Find your comfortable spot here. If you haven't got one yet, just keep bending the legs a little bit. And then inhale, come into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, full body to the ground. And then this time we are going to bring our hands a little bit forward so that our elbows are underneath our shoulders, and we're going to come into a Sphinx pose. Breathe your shoulder blades down the back, space between your ears and your shoulders. Lightly engage the stomach muscles. Have a little smile on your face. And on your next inhale, come back down. Hands underneath shoulders. Engage those fingers, lift the body onto the knees, back into a down facing dog. Inhale. Rest the knees, bring the knees onto the floor. Come into a seated pose, into easy pose. Both legs crossed, aka legs crossed. And I'm just going to take a minute here just to breathe and slowly come to the end of our session. So thank you very much for joining me. And legs straight out in front of you. And slowly bring yourself down onto the mat. Coming onto the forearms again, and then gently bringing the body down onto the mat. We're going to bring our knees into the chest. One by one. Bring both closer to the body. And then releasing the left first. Bring that back down, but don't let it touch the, so extend the left leg, but don't let it touch the floor. Inhale and change the legs over. Exhale. Inhale to bring the legs back to the chest. And then you can just move in whatever way you want. So making circles with both knees or one knee. Whatever you fancy. And then we're just going to bring both knees down towards the left hand side of the body to a supine twist with cactus arms if you'd like, straight arms, whichever way. And then bring the head to the opposite side. So if your legs have gone to the left, then take the head to the right. inhale, bringing the knees back up into the body, giving them another little hug and another little bit of movement. And then the arms out to either side, legs go in the opposite direction. Inhale back to the centre, and exhale the legs down, extend them out in front of you. Bring your arms back, and we're just going to have a bit of corpse pose, Shavasana now. So gently lifting the chest off the floor, bring the shoulder blades together, and then gently rest the chest back onto the mat. And then you can sort of get comfortable from there. It's quite a nice little thing to do. Readjust your shoulder blades before Shavasana. And if you'd like as well, you could lift your neck up and place your chin closer to your chest. Just kind of lengthens the back of the neck a little bit, which is also nice. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your, squeeze your fingers together. Squeeze your toes. Come back to your own natural breathing pattern. Feel your belly rise and fall. Maybe remember how you felt at the beginning of our little session. Gently wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Breathe in deeply, raising the belly all the way up. Filling yourself up. And sigh on the exhale. One more. One more inhale. Exhale. Bringing your knees in one after another to your chest. Over to one side of the mat. And gently lift yourself up. Keep your eyes closed if you'd like. Hands together. Gently rock from the front to the back. before we open our eyes. Just want to say thank you. One more inhale, one more exhale. Thank you very much. And have a wonderful rest of your day. If you are having one, or if you're towards the end of the day, then enjoy the rest of your evening. And see you soon. Bye.